Welcome back, everybody, to LOL Park. We're here for the second matchup of the night. Hanwha Life Esports up against SANDBOX Gaming. Should be a fun one. We already had 1-2-0 tonight. This, honestly, does look like another game that could go to that 2-0 victory for SANDBOX. Hanwha Life on a bit of a losing streak here. SANDBOX, though, faltering a little bit up against the top of the table. But they should be able to try to come back now up against one of the weaker teams and do a bit better. What are you thinking, Alice?
Well, I'm thinking that, yeah, SANDBOX are the clear favorites in tonight's match. And I think that the manner in which they can falter against higher up teams isn't really likely to occur here tonight against Hanwha Life, who are looking like they could end up in relegation this time around. Normally they're the 6th place Kings, but...
Yeah. They used to always fail to just barely not make it into playoffs.
I
get it. What happened?
Turn the 6 upside down. What do you get?
A 9.
That's why.
Yeah.
This is it. This is their destiny. Valdez. Come on.
You can only be one or the other, a 9 or a 6, and that seems to be the way it's been going for them so far. But we'll see. I mean, KT still have a chance. They are 1 win ahead right now. And, but again, we got a bunch of games left for these teams. Both KT and Hanwha still have 7 matches ahead of them to determine exactly who's going up and who could be going down there to relegation alongside Jinair, which is looking very likely that Jinair will be going into that relegation. SANDBOX, on the other hand, is 1 game score away from first place, behind Dom1 Gaming, so definitely a bit of a one-sided matchup on paper that Hanwha is going to have to overcome tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is the day, Valdez. SANDBOX, they take back their first place slot. They're going to get the 2-0 here. Everything's going to be all right for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we are on 9-13. Not quite 9-14 yet. Don't know if Hanwha Life would be the ones to do anything unusual in terms of the meta, but they're a team that I've talked about many, many times so far in the split. They don't have an identity. Every time I think of Hanwha Life, I don't really think of a clear-cut way to define them. Jinair, I have an idea.
Yeah.
SANDBOX, I have an idea. Dom1 Gaming, I have an idea. When I think of Hanwha Life, it's sort of just a random abundance of things. So we'll take a look at some of the points of the match here. 9th place, Hanwha is about to fall down to the potential relegation zone for the first time since the team's foundation. They got to end the 5-match losing streak. If SANDBOX wins today, they will be the first team to get the 9th win in this split and could be the only first place team. And then the last one, roster swap and Qiyana pick.
Yeah.
Hanwha Life is pulling off different tries. What kind of strategy did they prepare against one of the top teams, SANDBOX? Hopefully not a Mordekaiser. That's all I gotta say.
So, yeah, we've seen the Mordekaiser from Jinair. We don't really want to see that again. We've seen Qiyana, though, from Lava twice. And both of those games were losses. They actually won a game against Kingzone, of all teams. And they made it actually look somewhat competitive. But the 2 games they picked Qiyana were not the wins. As we're taking a look here at some times there in the middle, you can see that both of these teams like to go to long games, actually. Whereas when they lose, they do lose quickly. So kind of interesting that it takes them a while to win, whereas it takes them not as much time as other teams to lose.
Yeah. And we'll see what that ends up meaning for tonight's match. First blood percentage, both of these teams not really that eager to make those first bloods fly, as we're going to take a look at some of the highlights for both of these teams. An enchanted crystal arrow landing right there onto Nahyun. And Key, he's just right there to thread the needle off of that Rascal.
Oh, Rascal.
Varus died for this.
Poor Deft, man. It's like, thanks, Rascal. As Hanwha Life, known to do a lot of gank brushes. That was one of them where Kingzone had to, face check a little bit in that game. And I believe this was the game that they actually won because Lava's playing the Talia and not the Kiana that he lost 2 games on. So we actually do have some decent highlights from the side of Hanwha. Didn't get to see the magical chase there at the end from the Vladimir onto the Ashe. That eventually did not work out.
Now we take a look at some of SANDBOX's highlights. That was a really good ultimate there by OnFleek. Oh, he's really good at throwing these glacial crystals out, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Valdez. He's pretty good at throwing these out. Peanut is caught in the middle of a pretty rough situation right there. Summit going into the Guardian Angel. And ends up reviving, flashing away, gets the stun right there, and then turns it around. What a cheater champion Aurelia truly is.
You're not a big fan of that, Aurelia, are you? Doesn't seem that way.
No, I'm a big fan of cheater champions.
Yeah?
I like them. I do like them.
That's good.
I'm a big fan of imbalance.
Yeah. Well, we do have a bunch of stats here that are heavily in favor of OnFleek. You notice that the last games that SANDBOX played was up against Gen G, and that was a 0-2. I mean, SANDBOX, once again, kind of got flattened by a team that seemed to be better than them on that day. But the moments where SANDBOX looked good was on the back of OnFleek's Sejuani. So we'll see if Hanwha do end up letting that one through. Whereas Bono, you can see he's not doing too well in the stats. But the team overall is not doing super well. You can see that his kill percentage, or participation rather, at 15 is pretty high. Guy likes to get things done early on in the game, but outside of that, hasn't been able to find much success in the jungle for his team.
Well, they will be taking to the stage. No surprises here for Hanwha.
Yeah, SoHwan comes out again. Just giving him another chance. I think the first game that they played did not look great. Looked a bit better later on in the series. No Tall today, because SoHwan is going to be starting once again.
Here's a bit of an off-topic thing about Hanwha. So when I was leaving the studio last week, know Hanwha has a giant jumbo bus? That's what what they transported.
Yeah.
Oh my! I thought Team Liquid, would never have been outdone in any way, but this bus was massive.
It is a giant bus with the Hanwha colors.
Yeah.
It's really cool, actually, to see the
looked like paid by Steve
support.
For sure. But
paid by Mr. Hanwha. Thank you, Mr. Hanwha.
Yeah. SANDBOX now coming out. No surprises on their roster. And we'll see if anything unusual ends up coming out here in the draft. This is an important match for Hanwha. And while it is somewhat important for SANDBOX, it's obviously less impactful for them if they were to end up losing or something like that. Probably not some super desperation tactics prepared by them. And, I mean, this is the highlight every single time, the flags.
I like the colors on these ones, the black and orange.
Halloween colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halloween, best colors. If I'm just being honest, okay?
You got the pumpkins going, right? Match it with the orange. Whereas on the opposite side, it is white and red. Not necessarily the colors I would think of for a SANDBOX, but they do suit them well. They've got some pretty clean jackets. Big fan.
I never thought about that. The idea is SANDBOX, but the colors don't really reflect that of a SANDBOX.
Yeah.
Someone needs to get them a designer for their next jerseys, maybe for the 2020 split. Get some like beachy colors in there.
Yeah, the beach color with like a wood color as well.
Like a beige.
Yeah.
With, I don't know what kind of shade of blue or green
like
they
that,
might use. Yeah. But that'd be really nice.
It would have worked for the summer, but they're going to stick with their red and white for now. So looks like we're ready to hop into game number 1, guys. Game number 1, Ban and Pick is going to be the name of the game here. Did want to mention, by the way, we didn't mention this when the rosters came up. Lava was subbed out, so he played all 3 games, 2 games of Kiana against Kingzone. But today, Tempt is going to try to take his spot back as the starter in the mid lane.
Yeah.
We'll see what he can do.
And now Aatrox banned away here by Hanwha. Let's see how SANDBOX want to respond to this. It is going to be the Karma. Now it's handed back over to Hanwha Life.
Yeah. I checked the most picked champions recently, I think on Thursday, the first day, and Aatrox was actually the most played. Not the highest presence, I think that was Sejuani. Yeah. But most played champion was Aatrox, but we've been seeing less and less of him nowadays. Tahm Kench was number 2, by the way, most played. Frequently hitting the ban list, but today, no shields for the side of Hanwha. Say SANDBOX will take away both of those big shieldy champions.
They just want to maybe play a straight-up match without any of all those barriers and shields coming out and really obstructing the team fights, as Aurelia now will bite the dust. And now it's up to SANDBOX to decide what the final ban is going to be. 15 seconds remaining on that.
Yeah, I mean, you have some good ideas in here about Tahm Kench, Sejuani, even Ezreal sometimes hits the ban list. If you want to target out Sangyoon a little bit. What are they going to go with? It's actually going to be Talia. That should be a target here just up against the team. If I'm not mistaken, well, we saw Lava play it the one time, but I think we may have even seen Bono play it in the jungle recently. So I think it's a good overall team ban against Hanwha.
And now they're hovering the Jayce for SoHwan. And normally when I talk about Jayce being picked in the LCK, usually there's a few top laners that can really pilot him to success and have a lot of power and influence on him. And it is definitely very confident to pick him up against Summit here in the top lane, who many will consider to be one of the best tops currently inside of the LCK. So,
and one of the best Jayce players as well. So you take it away. SoHwan's not bad himself, but you also take it away from Summit. So I do like the pick.
Sejuani and Sir Thomas are now locked in for SANDBOX. So they have the defensive options that are able to be granted by that Tahm Kench. And with the Sejuani, they definitely have engaged potential. Braum now being covered. And maybe they just pick Ezreal right now for Sangyoon. That way you have the Jayce Ezreal combo, you have flexibility and mobility against the Sejuani.
Profit poggers.
There you go. And so now when the Ezreal is picked up, you have, I guess you have a few options. Depends how you want to end up approaching this. If you want to go full-on aggressive, Ghost is probably no stranger to the Draven or something like that. But Varus now being hovered.
Yeah, Varus, Tahm Kench, very popular nowadays. Varus has spiked in popularity within the last couple of weeks. Deft has been grinding that Varus so much. I think it's like 3-4 games already the last couple times they played. So Ghost also gonna hop onto that pick.
Yeah. He has locked it in. Now it's gonna come to the bans. This is where you pinch the junglers, as Olaf will bite the dust. And perhaps Trundle will actually be the next one that ends up getting hit. Mono tends to have an affinity for physical damage champions, so
yeah.
Olaf definitely makes sense. It's also one that he is very keen on. Camille now going to hit the bench. I think that you just ban Trundle here when you consider Bono's champion pool.
Who?
Bono.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about him.
Yeah,
yeah,
you forgot
Mr.
about him.
Bono. The lead singer of U2, right? That's his name.
Why are you doing this to me?
And, well, the Prophet's back.
I am
So, for what
here.
you lack in pronunciation, you can actually bring us some good insight into the pick ban. That's good.
All right. Excellent. Excellent, Valdez. I'll be here all night.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be good to ban that up against the Sejuani.
The Yorick, that's a blast to the past. That's considered one of Jayce's true counters that does exist, but we're talking about SANDBOX here, so you're going to have multiple ways. Cho'Gath would be really interesting as a pick and also not that great because of how many options Hanwha Life has to respond to it. Nico, not super. Ooh.
Last second change up.
That is going to be the Renekton locked in there for most likely Summit. Very, very low chance that that Renekton ends up in the mid lane.
Yeah, ton of Renex over there. Just going to be handed over to SANDBOX. As Hanwha Life, they have to consider.
Yeah, there's the AD jungler, J4. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Tahm Kench can eat people out of Cataclysm, slice and dice on Renekton. He can get out of it too. And a Corki to round out the team composition is really surprising, because now they're so vulnerable to Baron. They're not going to have any wave clear. And in addition to that, they're going to have two potentially extremely vulnerable lanes that need a lot of attention from this Jarvan. And the Corki's going in blind. Oh, man.
Ooh. I like this idea.
Varus can easily deal hybrid damage, and then with all the magic coming in from Sir Thomas and Sejuani, the Lucian wouldn't necessarily be that bad.
Yeah.
And it is going to be locked in.
And that is part of the problem, you know, when you're trying to blind pick. Sometimes you can run into stuff like this, especially with confident mid laners like Dove, who are not scared to bring in a pick that has to dominate lane to do really well. And we've all seen Corki up against the Lucian. Doesn't go very well. So we'll see if Dove can successfully run this mid lane.
Yeah. And the team composition for SANDBOX is definitely able to run away with the game if they get an advantage. They also have amazing Baron Shred potential. So we're going to have to pay attention to what the first dragons are. OnFleek, he likes dragons. He likes to be able to capture them, bring them down, get them for his team. We're going to take one last look at the team compositions before we end up jumping into the game. Talk about what both want to really achieve. Ezreal, Braum, Corki, J4, and then at the very top, even though he's not on your screen yet, Jayce, the Defender of Tomorrow. This team composition wants to scale up. It's waiting for 2.5 items from the mid lane and the bot lane. The Jayce is the one power force that has to try to draw enough attention to himself that they can allow the composition to get online. Then they transition into a pseudo siege poke comp. But on the flip side, for SANDBOX, Renekton, Sejuani, Lucian, Varus, and Tahm Kench, they want to get ahead. They want to get ahead early. They want to pulverize you, and this is going to be an aggressively played Sejuani.
Should be, and OnFleek is no stranger to that play style, so it's really going to be up to SANDBOX to increase the pace of this game. Let's see if they can do it. Already into the game here, not wasting any time. And that's going to be the name of the game here for SANDBOX. Get on that fast track, try to dominate lanes in a big way. And I'll be most interested, actually, to see this top lane, to see if SoHwan can actually shut down one of the best top laners we do have here in Korea in Summit.
Well, he's going to have his work cut out for them. The jungler paths are going to be really important to pay attention to in the early stages of this game, as Bono is coming in here with SoHwan. They actually clear out the first ward. This means that SoHwan gets level 2 on the first wave. So Summit is probably not happy about that. That is a feels bad man moment.
Yeah, mark that up on our list of feels bad man moments.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like the Budweiser highlight of the game or something. That's the Feels Bad Man moment of the game, guys. Sponsored by Feels Bad Man and Pepe the Frog.
It's actually sponsored by the Republic of Gamers. Take a look at some of these sponsors here for
and
the LCK. Cidiz, Logitech, and then Uri Bank. Nice.
Uri Bank, yeah.
You got that.
SK
And
Telecom.
SK Telecom's actually a sponsor.
Yeah.
For the league.
Yeah, so shout out to our sponsors, not Pepe the Frog.
Alright. Summit now has to respect the Jayce early on. Gonna wait for his jungler. It does look like OnFleek is gonna go for a full clear from his blue side jungle before moving up towards the top half of the map. J4, however, doing red into golems. And then we'll see what his transition is. Oftentimes, you'll see a lot of junglers do like red to blue into Gromp. It's just really a very ugly Jarvan route. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And so it's nice to see a bit of a different route coming in here. Look at the, take note of the way that he's pathing, playing around any sort of vision that maybe would have been placed by SANDBOX.
Yeah, and he pinged the Raptors too, so you were talking about vision. Maybe that's where he could have said, oh, they probably pinged my Raptors, so I went around it, and that's, or they probably warded my Raptors, and that's why he pinged there, so. Nice play by Bono so far.
Yep, and you can see that he's actually starting blue and then proceeds onto the Gromp. And if this is going to be the case, he should have probably just done the Gromp of the Wolves before the blue so that he can maximize his buff duration and then transition immediately into the Crab, because your top laner already has priority. And it's not really going to change that much. For the clear speed, he would still be roughly where he's at right now at almost the same time. And so...
Because specifically the blue is not going to increase your clear time all that much.
Not all that much on Jarvan.
The red is a bit of a different story.
Yep.
So definitely important to highlight that. As OnFleek, going for a little roam up in the top side.
This is a really... Gambler... This is a very Malrong-esque game.
Yeah.
I was going for the word gamble right there, so...
That's a Malrong play.
Yeah. And the whole reason that he's doing this is that he's anticipating that J4 would try to come up to top lane to gank Summit right now. Ends up that is not the case. Bono comes over, ends up finding himself a ward before he starts his Raptor camp. And I can't quite see the priority down in bottom lane right now, but it does look like OnFleek's going to be able to go over to that Scuttle Crab, which is so surprising that Bono didn't attempt to just run over to it and see if he could maybe capture it, pinning it against the wall. Especially because Tempt have teleport, so in the end, OnFleek is really far ahead in terms of slight tempo that's been achieved through this. He's also going to absorb some of the mid lane XP.
He's actually getting a lot here.
Yeah.
This is 5 minions in total. Pick up a bunch of the gold too, so. An even faster level 6. As take a look at the pings there by blue side on the jungler OnFleek. They ping wolves into Gromp, so I would assume that's Bono just saying, hey, Sejuani's probably going to go there and may hit 6 afterwards, so just be careful mid and bot.
And now Sejuani is just going to go back to clearing. We're probably not going to get that much action for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and OnFleek, unfortunately,
everyone's about to get spotted out, too. I mean, maybe J4 goes for this gank against Lucian, but there's no universe where it can kill him.
Yeah, but Sejuani's so nearby. He's just spotting to see where that Sejuani goes. And Bono's like, I'm out of here. See you later.
Well, this is an interesting turn of events. We're getting ping pong early here, Valdez. 20 minutes early.
Okay. Challenger smite coming in here from Bono. He's not messing around. No smite for OnFleek, as there is priority in mid lane for the red team. SANDBOX here, so OnFleek is totally fine.
Now both players going to go to the left-hand side.
Big trade in the top side. Summit nearly gets bopped down, is forced to use the Dominus as he's like, oh boy, I might have died if that hit me, and I didn't use it here. So actually a nice little trade up in the top side by SoHwan.
Yeah, he gets the ultimate out of Summit, but the real tragedy here, if you are a Hanwha Life fan, is that SoHwan, he's committed double Doran's Blade into his build. He was already recalled, and Summit had yet to teleport. Summit's even on CS. The wave is coming in. So Summit is doing a phenomenal job inside of this lane, even though he did almost just give up a solo kill. Now Summit's going to be the one that's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it should be pointed out that up against the Jayce, it can be hard to go even in CS for pretty much every lane, and he's been doing a great job there. You have to highlight, though, that Tempt is also doing a pretty good job of just accepting that mid lane up against the Lucian and also keeping up pretty much exactly on the CS. A little bit easier for Corki, obviously, because he has a lot of range, especially after level 6. He can use the missiles to farm as well. But doing well so far against Lucian is always going to feel good. As we're just checking the dragon here, not actually starting that Infernal Drake that can absolutely be a focal point here in the early game in just a moment.
Yeah, and Lucian coming down right now, looking for any sort of control wards that might be on the right-hand side river. And there is a control ward. That's a sneaky one.
Yeah.
That's a... I don't even know. That's a little Red Riding Hood one. That is very right near the wolves.
Yeah.
Where they would least expect her, you know?
Being surrounded.
Yeah.
Got to be careful in there all alone. But it's a noble cause.
It is.
She's getting a lot of work done for the allies here. As speaking of which, we're trying to dunk your nice flash and mechanics by Bono. Is going to pick up that first blood. Very well deserved. Great positioning to get behind him and then pick up that kill.
Yeah, and this is a really nice tempo swing for Hanwha Life. They get the Lucian, and so now Corki's threatening plates in mid lane, but pings go down actually onto the blue. Sejuani was pathing there anyway, but this isn't the way that you want your Lucian mid game to be going. You don't want to be going even in CS against a Corki, who also has a call and is sort of just laughing in your face with it. This isn't how you pilot Lucian. This also isn't how you coordinate around it. But nonetheless, SANDBOX, they're going to start the Infernal Dragon. Hold on, Brendan.
Yeah.
Move your eyes down to the stats there. Let's take a look.
Oh, don't worry. They're going to switch to the Jarvan right before.
Stop. All right, 1080.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, if he got 1080, Lucian probably got maybe 11, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe Lucian got 11. Who knows what Renekton got?
Wait, so they saw him go into the bush.
They saw him go into the brush. This is what we call the North America right here. As Dub continues forward, even though there were pings on the brush. So,
I think it must have been a communication error. The Sejuani was nearby, but not close enough.
I think he was cosplaying Lost Sight. Couldn't quite see the mini-map.
He couldn't use his echolocation. Like,
Yeah.
like Lost Sight does.
Someone get him some poker chips
with
down
the,
there.
with the clicking and the poker chips, yeah. He was missing out.
Oh, no.
You can tell I've been studying my
Yeah,
LS copy pastas.
you've definitely been...
I know the meta.
Yeah.
I'm very in tune with that now.
You have
As,
been...
okay, he's coming for a gank.
Oh, man.
As is Bono.
Oh, man.
And this is all happening as the lane is pushing, so... Okay, we're all... Well, they were thinking about sticking around, but I think this is mainly because of course, good old Shelly getting all the attention on the Rift. She's really popular out here. Everybody loves her. And, yeah, I mean, they're trying to set up for it, but OnFleek does have vision now in the pit.
Well, Hanwha Life, they did get that first kill. They're only up by about 200 gold right now. But remember, they're the team that scales better. So it's not imperative for them to have advantages. In fact, they're doing a pretty good job across the board. Also, interesting to note, Varus is going Blade of the Ruin King. It will be his first item of choice. We're not going to see any wonky builds out of him, it seems. And this means that the Ninja Tabbies, which should come in on every single member from Hanwha Life, with maybe Jarvan being the exception, is just going to have so much resistances against the SANDBOX team in the mid game. And one of the things that SANDBOX has to sort of mitigate against that is the Infernal Dragon. Will bolster some of the damage. And, okay, well. Yeah, Sejuani is known.
Yeah, nice little attempt there. That means that Bono can come down here and clear out a bunch of vision on the bottom side, rather.
This is a very, very slow game.
Yeah, just the one kill. Bono smurfing a little bit in the mid lane. I don't know how they're so good at those Jarvan mechanics, but I guess if you want to play Jarvan at the highest level, you need to be able to EQ flash to, you know, down to the frame.
I still haven't come up with a name. This is actually turning into a very serious matter.
But just accept
No,
it as
we're
Buddy.
not accepting Buddy. That was a Disney Channel movie, Valdez. Come on.
I mean,
Ridiculous.
Fine. I like the Disney Channel. I guess we can't steal their copyright, though. Buddy's obviously copyrighted by the channel.
It is.
That's unfortunate. Definitely was the best name. As SANDBOX don't want to waste any more time in here. They've put down a couple of control wards around the river. And even Joker's there with Ghost having a TP. We're going to get a check now. That's actually didn't hit him, even though it looked like it hit him. But either way, they will know now that the Rift Herald is being attempted by the side of SANDBOX, and it will go down. Not much that Hanwha Life could do. They were a little bit too late on spotting that one out, so the timing is good from SANDBOX.
And now SANDBOX with the Rift Herald, they should be able to place it down and maybe get turret plates right after the Raptor camp. I think that that's what OnFleek is going to try to do. Let's see, he's coming in here. I think he's going to press his hotkey. Let's give him a bit. He's going top lane. He's going to do a top lane. See?
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit late to the party.
Oh,
he's going for the gank instead, but we got TP coming in here. A great response already from Hanwha Life to save him, and that means that Shelly will not be getting any turret plates. I think you just got to go safe and drop it mid, hand over some gold to Dove, get him ahead here a bit, but instead, everything gets thwarted by Hanwha, who are, of course, just looking to sit back and scale.
Yeah, and Hanwha Life, they handled that really, really well. They rotated to mid lane at the exact correct timing as well so that Dove was not able to achieve anything. And then the teleport top lane just completely put a damper on that play attempt that OnFleek was going for. So SANDBOX, they find themselves almost even on gold, but realistically, all things considered with team compositions, they are behind. And unfortunately for them, Clown Drake is the next one that spawned. Yeah, we have, this is...
Nice plates, but...
We got the, I think the Jin Air curse is in effect right now.
That is 8 donuts. Although it sounds delicious.
What is 8 donuts?
Yeah, the 0 looks like a donut. Because, you know, there's a hole in the middle. That's a Papa Smithy thing. Don't look at me. He's the one who came up with it. It is.
Now you got me hungry.
Yeah.
What kind of donuts do you like?
I'm a fan of the the jam filled ones. You know?
Yeah, you're dead to me. All right, so
what?
Ever gets the jelly fill? I'm done.
Those are really good.
Cloud Dragon goes the way to SANDBOX.
Why? What's your favorite donut?
I'm
Coming
glad
here
you
like
asked.
A donut elitist.
Yeah, absolutely. I am a original glazed kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's a respectable.
Actually, that's respectable.
Exactly.
I get it. Okay.
Like a sir. All right. Like
you and Thomas Kench.
Yes.
Your donuts
yes.
together.
So,
I get it.
I'm glad that we can agree on this. So now coming back into the main game, SANDBOX rolling really bad. Second Cloud Dragon will end up spawning for them. As big trade coming down here in top lane, but
SoHwan's really angry.
He's really mad.
At the Croc.
Yeah, he is saying that he can't allow people to be, let them know that he's losing lane as Jayce.
Yeah.
He doesn't want people to know that, so he's trying to take really hard trades, but Summit, he still has teleport. So SoHwan is down teleport advantage right now. He's down in CS. Down in XP. Summit is already level 12. He's really getting outplayed quite hard in top.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that would be noticeable, right? People, they like the flashiness, they like the kills. If the Renekton was sitting here getting 2 kills in a row as the immediate cleanse, that's a Captain Jack. As we're going one-on-one here in the mid lane, Bono going to show up again, doing a nice job camping here for Tempt, getting that Corki ahead, live and well. But yeah, you know, if there aren't kills, maybe people would have missed, you know, who's winning the lane. But I think you can say that top lane has absolutely gone the way of Summit. Mid lane is going to have this Rift Herald drop. There actually was basically no time left on that one. As now trying to rotate back in is Hanwha, as OnFleek's just going forward as the culling comes out. And that's going to do a great job of zoning them away. Let's see if SANDBOX can pick up the mid lane turret because of that. We're going to start it here as we got a 2v2 down to the bottom side. There's a lot of great health though for Joker. He's going to stay alive. And down will go that mid lane turret. That very important objective that SANDBOX, with their zoning plays, are going to be able to pick up.
Yeah, and you know, they had Tahm coming in there as well to back them up. They end up getting the mid-tier 1 turret, which is a really powerful turret against poke comps. And so, oh, okay, that was a bug. I thought that the blast cone just bugged out. Yeah. But it ends up being okay. So they get that down. They're really wanting to roll another Infernal after they get the second Cloud Dragon. Because even though they have this extremely small advantage in terms of gold, it's probably it's less than 100 gold. They have an Infernal Dragon. Their team comp does not go toe-to-toe against Hanwha Lifes. And we saw what happened earlier tonight when team compositions can collide with one another. Jin Green Wings almost pulled off a miracle comeback against Afrika. Now, normally I only talk about team compositions mattering when the teams are relatively close in skill, but sometimes the discrepancy is so large, like in this game and in the Jin Afrika game, that it can really play a part in influencing the end result.
Yeah. Hanwha Life, I mean, they're not like Jin, you know, they have won a couple of series. They have taken a bunch of games, right? Overall, they're 2-9, but they're only -11 in terms of game score, so it's actually not that bad. They have won a bunch of games and gone down, you know, 1-2 in series, so they know how to win. And we'll see if they can actually pilot this one to a victory, as Devour going to come out here early. The TP's coming in from Hanwha Life, trying to turn now onto Tempt. Is going to have to flash away. And now SANDBOX on the right side, trying to go 4v1. Bono getting in there, just gets dunked on. As Key is also going to be baited into this one, goes down himself. And the Jayce just never was even able to join the fight the entire time, as SANDBOX pick up 2 kills for free. They
pick up 2 kills for free. They have all the tempo down there in the bot lane now as well. Jayce, he did go mid lane to try to shove in a wave, but you can see that his attention is still diverted as OnFleek right now, trying to steal away the red.
Well,
yeah.
They got the Valkyrie though. He's going over the wall. How did they stay this long? OnFleek is so low. One more rocket, but he dodges it, and he dodges again. And everybody's trying to hit him now, but nobody can. OnFleek is still alive. The shot blast not going to land, and now he's got a stopwatch. Oh, the dream is dead. And Hanwha Life will be able to pick up all the kills on the back of that fight.
Oh, man, that was one agile Poro, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
That was an extremely, extremely quick Poro. Those are some really good dodges. You normally don't get to see stuff like that too often anymore in Season 9. I think he's come a long way, Season 9. Clown Dragon, it's going to be picked up by Hanwha. Oh, God. Ocean Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. The Kool-Aid Man just burst through the wall.
He's a big fan of the Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot about the Kool-Aid Man. I've never seen an advertisement or anything. Did it die out?
Well, the thing is, LS, you and I live in Korea, and I don't even know if you have cable here. They don't have Kool-Aid Man commercials here in Korea. I don't know what it's like in NA anymore. It's been too long.
Well, take a look at the replay as Tempt, he just managed to escape because it seems like Lucian didn't want to commit his summoner spells to actually bringing him down there. Then SANDBOX, they push on. They end up getting up the kill onto Key, but then OnFleek just goes way, way, way too greedy. Looking for this red. Joker even getting smacked back in, having to flash over the Dragon Pit. And honestly, this is a situation where there's no neutral objectives available on the map. Just embrace your death. But take a look at the moves on this Sejuani. As Dub, he's trying his best. to save his teammate, but in the end, he will also be brought down. So, punished for trying to save OnFleek.
Yeah, just a little bit of greed there. It happens, you know. You get a bunch of wins, and you're like, oh, we're so good. We're so nice. Let's take the win. It's going to be easy peasy, but then you just do a couple of dumb things, and all of a sudden, the enemy team can come back, and we have to be extra careful if you're SANDBOX with these compositions. As now OnFleek, again, is going to get locked up here. We're going to turn it around. Dove is going to have to get away from that one, as Key is going to immediately get first down here. So we got Tempt coming in from behind. That's going to be a lot of damage on the Corki. Already taking out 2. Another knock up here on a Joker. He's going to be going down as well. And Summit and Ghost all alone there on the right side, not able to help him out.
And it looks like Hanwha Life, they want to start the Baron. This is a very risky attempt. He does not have teleport, although maybe he does. Spellbook, not sure.
Well, Ghost is unbelievably weak now.
Dominus cast by Summit, but he doesn't have a way in.
They're like homing missiles onto Ghost. Can he steal it? No, and he dies too! Oh, that poor Varus. As 4 members of Hanwha will pick up the Baron. And, you know, don't even look at the nameplates. Hanwha from this far ahead. They should be the victors of this game.
Yeah, they're definitely looking like they're going to get the victory here. OnFleek, you can see he's way too far up inside of the jungle yet again. Joker misses that tongue lash. No idea where Dove was going right there, I'll be completely honest with you, as OnFleek knocked back around. The Tahm Kench can't do anything. Their damage type, it just sucks right now. It is way too hard for them to fight. Varus, he casts Heartfire, wasn't very effective.
It hurt itself in confusion right there.
Yeah.
As SANDBOX are definitely going to be hurting here, as Hanwha Life just barreling down the mid lane now. What are you going to do against this comp too? Okay, the Braum a little bit too far forward. Nice stopwatch. It's not going to matter though, as he gets culled down by Dove. As he had his shield up, but it was not enough to keep him alive here. As the push will continue from Hanwha Life. They don't seem too bothered that their support buddy is down.
Well, now, Hanwha, I mean, Key has teleport.
Oh,
right?
we're going in now. Bono, not sure about that one. He gets super low. As Summit diving into the backside. Thankfully, they had the Tahm Kench. Otherwise, he was dead meat. As they will take out that turret, but a little bit of too much aggression, I'd say, from Hanwha trying to dive.
Yeah. Definitely a little bit of over-aggression, but also some mechanical misplays there on the side of Hanwha Life. They should have been able to bring Summit down, to be completely honest, as now we'll take a look at the replay one more time. Glacial Prison comes out, he uses the stopwatch, and then he tries to flash. There's no reason to flash. You're just dead. It's okay. You have teleport on Spellbook. And then meanwhile, the outer tier 1 turrets still exist for SANDBOX, but those are going to fall very, very soon, so don't let the gold gap of being only 3,000 at the top mislead you. It's a lot larger than that. The Infernal Dragon does not matter. And also, take a look at the boots, actually, on everyone from Hanwha Life. Ezreal, he didn't even need to go Ninja Tabby because they're so far ahead. And the J4, he has Ninja Tabby himself. Jayce as well. It is so difficult for all of these SANDBOX champions to deal damage.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really able to do much. They had to get much farther ahead in game, or rather in the first 15, 20 minutes, but they really were not able to do that. I mean, this is just the prophecy coming true, basically. The predictions of seeing the compositions in front of our eyes and saying, I mean, that's a damn good scaling composition from Hanwha Life. And if they can survive for a long time in this game, they should be very far ahead. Now, they're going to kill the Ocean Drake here. They have total control of the map, so maybe they just want to roll something better. Let's see how they do. Okay, they'll pick up an Infernal, so now they can match it.
Well, yeah, if they should be in the driver's seat by the time that Infernal ends up coming up, but it is a little bit scary because you know how far ahead you are right now. you don't really need to roll a Cloud Dragon or a Mountain Dragon to bring this game home, and getting an Infernal to spawn isn't necessary, given how strong they are. Do you really need the damage amplification right now for your Corki, Ezreal, or Jayce in order to bring down the SANDBOX team? Probably not, but SANDBOX, they needed an out. And so now, SANDBOX went from having a 0% chance at having an out to maybe a 10%. But that's still better than 0.
That's true. I mean, especially with a bunch of the pick power that they have. I mean, they have just Sejuani, Varus together, but you get a good teleport. You're able to isolate someone on Hanwha Life if they make a mistake. There is a chance, but it looks like Hanwha Life doesn't want to give them that chance, as immediately Dove is going to go down. Teleport coming in, but he is just dunking him under the turret here. Sangyoon getting free deal on the left side as well. As in goes SoHwan, but everybody's being burst down. He was just the sacrificial lamb. But it does look like OnFleek will get away here with the little bit of health that he did have. Hanwha Life coming ahead 2-1, and they will continue to push.
Yeah, they're looking for the top tier 2 turret now, as they have what's likely to be 5,500 gold lead after they raise this objective here. And Luden's Echo also was the third item of choice for the Ezreal, so no magic resist present really on the side of SANDBOX. He's hitting like a truck. And we'll take a look at how this all ends up transpiring. Dove and Joker, for some unholy reason, want to defend the tier 1 turret. Teleport coming in from everyone in this game. But Dove was already brought down. OnFleek zoned out of the fight. Ghost eventually gets in there. Chains of Corruption lands, but it's just too little too late. They don't have any way of continuing on into the fight. And now Varus is attempting to go into Magic, or AP Varus, but if that's the case, why do you open Blade of the Ruin King first item?
Yeah, I mean, it is a question. It does look like SANDBOX overall are just a little bit out of sorts today. Not 100% sure. They drafted this comp, and then they weren't really able to do much with it, right? Summit had a good laning phase, but outside of that, I mean, the Rift Herald, you know, they weren't able to get much gold with that. And now Ezreal has a Medai Soul Stealer. Sangyoon is really just saying, you can't kill me at this point. As Bono going to take an intense amount of damage here up on the top side. He's burning down. One more tick is going to do it there from the Lucian, just overestimating his tankiness and underestimating rather the pick potential in CC that SANDBOX still do have.
And so now, like you're mentioning, if SANDBOX, they want to come back into this game, it's going to be via a Varus ultimate or a Sejuani ultimate, getting them some sort of a pick that they can convert into a major neutral objective capture. The Baron's live, but now Hanwha Life, they can't just go over to it arbitrarily and hope to get... I've never seen a Mage Eyes on Ezreal, by the way.
Neither have I, actually. This is a weird first, you know? We see it a lot on champions that have escapes, and, well, I'm going to have to hold that thought because SANDBOX, they're going for one last try here. We're going to say, hey, maybe we can burst down the Baron, deny it away from Hanwha, and stay alive in this game. As the poke is coming down, though, now the Chains of Corruption getting on in there, keeping everybody away. The smite is good from SANDBOX. They're looking to turn it around. Dove is in the back of the pit, and Tempt immediately goes down. That's a huge amount of damage taken away now from Hanwha Life, but Sangyoon still alive here. Dove trying to do his best. The Devour comes up from Joker, as still the Ezreal will survive. They're all so low, but Hanwha will still be able to win this fight somehow, some way. The health bars stay alive, and Hanwha will win the fight.
Hanwha, they win the fight. They're teleporting into mid right now. Sangyoon doesn't even bother to recall first. Teleport now coming in from SoHwan as well, as they are barreling down mid lane right now. I think they just want to end the game. I actually really like the decision by Bono to tank the turret so that the minions get to live that much longer and help out with DPS. And now they are starting to raise the Nexus turrets. Ghost, can he hold on?
See what he can do, okay. And the answer is absolutely nothing. Had a little fun ride into the air, and that's about it. Hanwha Life coming in here with a very strong message saying we will not be harassed in this series, and they dominate in game number 1.
I get it. You said harass because they're the poke comp, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So they poke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. I see what you did there. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Valdez.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
The caster chemistry coming through.
Well, SANDBOX actually doesn't look that flustered from that game as they are walking off the stage.
Trying to think who would win this MVP.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it.
Kind of felt like the team got ahead with their comp and everybody did their job and nobody really stood out.
Yeah, no one really stood out. I'm gonna roll a die. Hold on here.
No, just choose someone. Come on.
All right.
You got it. You got it, LS. You're a smart guy. You can make an analytical decision on this one. Hanwha Life is all laughs right now after the win.
Brendan, 1, 2, 3, or 5?
I'm not making your decision for you.
Valdez.
Put a check down and we'll give the paper over. As yeah, I mean, Hanwha Life, good job. I mean, they win the draft in a way.
Pengu.
It's Pengu again.
Pengu makes me happy, actually.
I can tell.
Yeah, Pengu, he has a special effect. Okay, Sangyoon, he is who I voted for MVP. Glad to see that he did #1 in the damage. Via my random
That means
selection.
you must be right.
Yeah, that's it. So, lots of damage coming out from the team composition. I mean, we talked about it. We laid it out. And interestingly enough, yet another draft unfolded where the difference between the comps is so big. Doesn't matter how big the difference in skill is between the teams when they're both playing at a professional level.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to notice. Drafts are very important nowadays. We'll see if SANDBOX can come back with a good one after the break.
천천히 봐, 싸움 봐. 계속 포킹해 이거. 나 가고 있어 이거. 얘네 버스야 버스. 싸움 보자. 포킹 계속해 이거 세게 안 해. 안쪽에. 안쪽. 나 한번 뺄게 이거. 나 가고 있어 해도 돼. 가고 있어. 잡았어 한 명 잡았어. 천천히 해봐 이거. 잘 이겼어 이거. 오케이. 나 왔어 이거. 자르반이 왔어. 자르반 왔어. 이거 루시안 건데. 루시안. 일단 생각보다 약해 일단. 루시안. 나이스. 살려줘. 나이스. 뭐야? 잡아. 미드가 끝내. 오케이. 나이스. 미드. 끝나? 끝났어. 아 미안 여기서 안 줄 거 좋았다. 거리 안 떠도 될 것 같아. 포킹으로 시야 잡고 하자.
그럼 지금부터 사운드 테스트 진행하겠습니다.
사운드 테스트.
그다음에 적들의 움직임이 수상해.
플레이
얘 좀 봐줘.
네.
테디 지금 바텀 보고 있는 거야? 플레이드 갱주.
보스터 여기 좀 봐줘.
똥플릭 상황 보고 있는 거야?
적들의 움직임이 수상해.
똥플레이 갱은 언제 오는 거야?
안감. 이거 뭐야?
잘 들리시고 있네.
네.
네. 다음.
싸울 준비.
왜 보고 있는 거야?
아 그거 괜찮아. 큐베 죽으면 그거 해. 큐베 상황 보고 있는 거야? 요거 하세요. 알았지? 할 수 있다 생각하고 하라고.
정신 차려야겠습니다.
괜찮아.
뭐 노래 불러줘요?
시작 전에 불러줘.
When you try your best. 나 이거 노래 안 들었는데 알 것 같아.
When you try your best but you don't succeed.
멘탈에 영향이.
알았어 안 할게.
좋아. 계속 한 소절만 더 해봐.
When you give what you know, not what you need.
약간 스페인어 같은데.
오케이.
대현이 형 긴장되면 말을 제가 계속 불러드릴게요. 간절히 전에도 불러줄게요. 껌 있는 분. 생각해보니까 껌을 안 씹었네?
요즘 메타 껌 안 씹는 메타야.
아 그래?
안 먹냐 요즘?
껌 씹으면 저.
요즘 껌 안 씹냐?
네.
헐.
껌 씹을 시간에 말해야 된다니까.
헐.
아 네. 이래.
나 괜찮아.
이긴 거 같거든?
이거 왔다.
프레이.
나왔어 이거. 이거 조이 높여. 오케이 이겼다. 조이 높여. 아 다행이다.
오케이 이겼다. 고맙다. 오케이. 피팀 왜 이렇게 잘해?
서울의 밤 멈들어간 도시 걸먹걸먹 걸으며
날들이 내 잃어버린 날들이. 집중합시다. 에이스 있어요.
빨리 못 오거든?
이거 레드 줄게.
야 아지르 봐줘 아지르.
야 우연히 봐. 아들. 아 자동차가 있거든?
깼어 파인 끝났어.
나이스. 그냥 기인 형 파밍하다가 그냥
아 어떻게 카멜이 세주보다 딜량이 낫냐?
아 네가 해보라고 야.
아니야 그럴 거면 가렌 해라 가렌.
그래 가렌 할까 이거?
가렌 해라 진짜로.
가렌 할까?
나 같으면 딜량 5천 넣을 거면 가렌 한다.
딜량 5천이었냐?
5,000원이야. 내가 딜량 2등이야 우리 팀.
뽀삐 저번에 뽀삐 잘하는 거.
뽀삐 아닌 것 같아.
뽀삐 나한테 배울래?
뽀삐를 못하냐?
그냥 사이언 해 사이언. 제이스 상대로 사이언 얼마나
아니 가렌 하니까.
아니 사이온을 왜 하냐고. 할 거면 오른을 하지.